Colorado Rockies visit Asdrubal Cabrera and the Cleveland Indians. One inning did in the Indians last night. One inning Fausto Carmona could not get out of after he had the first two out. Tonight is a new night, and the resurgent Tribe offense looks to square up this series with the Rockies at a game apiece. Next on Sports Time Ohio. After falling short by a run last night, the Indians try to even things up with the Rockies here this evening at Progressive Field. It's Game 2 in this three-game series. Hi again, everyone. Matt Underwood alongside Rick Manning, and joined once again by former Indian skipper Mike Hargrove in the booth here tonight. Indians losing last night to the Rockies, but the Tribe will try to get things evened up here this evening. And if they're going to do that, Mike, they better figure out a way to slow down Carlos Gonzalez, because ever since he's moved into that leadoff spot, he has been on fire offensively for the Rockies.
Well, you're right, Matt. In talking to some of the Colorado people, they said that when he was hitting deeper in the order, that his strike zone was a lot wider, and he wasn't zeroing in on pitches to hit, getting himself out a lot, trying to do too much. Jim Tracy put him in the leadoff spot, told him to concentrate on getting on base, that narrowed his strike zone, narrowed his focus, and it really has paid big dividends for him and the ball club.
Can't argue with those numbers, hitting at a 377 clip in those 14 games in the top spot in the order. Now, Rick, Mitch Talbot's on the hill tonight against Jhoulys Chacín of Colorado. And if the numbers mean anything, Talbot doesn't have much room for error here this evening.
Well, you have pitchers going in two different directions. Let's take a look at today's pitching matchup, brought to you by the Jeep brand. We don't just make SUVs, we make history. Jhoulys Chacín has 8-4 this year. He's won his last three starts. This guy's only given up 66 hits in his 93 innings pitched, so you're going to have to really work him hard. And on the other side, Mitch Talbot, in his last start against the Tigers, he struggled, gave up 2 runs in the first inning, and it takes him a little while to settle into a ball game. He's going to have to be right on his game tonight, going up against the Rockies, because that's a tough offense. He hasn't pitched very well at home. He is 0-2 this year in his 3 starts, so he's going to have to find a way to turn it around, get to that cutter early, change speeds, and we'll see if he can turn this thing around for the Indians.
And hopefully he can stay out of the big inning. That was the one thing that killed Carmona and the Tribe last night. We'll be back with all the play-by-play action between the Indians and the Rockies right here on Sports Time Ohio. We welcome you into Progressive Field tonight for Game 2 of this 3-game interleague series between the Indians and the Colorado Rockies. Mitch Talbot on the hill for the Tribe tonight, and we'll get a look at Jim Tracy's starting lineup right now. Carlos Gonzalez in the leadoff spot had 3 hits last night. Jonathan Herrera playing second base tonight in the 2-hole. Then it's Todd Helton, followed by Troy Tulowitzki, Jason Giambi, and Seth Smith. Ty Wigington, Charlie Blackman, and Chris Iannetta round it out. Gave you the numbers in the opening segment tonight. Gonzalez has been ripping the cover off the baseball since going into that leadoff spot, hitting .377 in 14 games. Takes a look at a first pitch strike from Mitch Talbot. Game time temperature tonight, 86 humid degrees.
Well, the first official day of summer, why not? Why not 86?
You're right. More sunlight than we'll have all year. Gonzalez steps back in. No balls, 2 strikes. And Talbot watches him line it right back up the middle. His 4th hit already in the series.
I'll come back and you look at it, and the first guy of the game, an 0-2 base hit. Come back, a little too good of a pitch by Mitch Talbot here. A pitch that's going to be upstairs, and this guy's swinging a very hot bat, and you'll see what happens. I mean, that's not where you want an 0-2 pitch. I mean, and that's your goal. You work hard to get ahead of the hitters. And when you get to 0-2, you certainly don't want to give up a cookie like that.
Here is Jonathan Herrera. Takes a look at a ball outside. His 42nd start of the year at second base for the Rockies.
Well, Mitch Talbot making his 8th start this year. He is 2-4, an ERA of over 5. 26 strikeouts in his 37 2/3 innings. Left-handers, though, are hitting .419 coming into today's game, and he's looking for his very first win in this ballpark this year.
Outside again, 2 balls, no strikes.
First time he has ever faced the Colorado Rockies.
Santana holding the runner Gonzalez at first. He has 11 steals. And a 2-0 pitch in for a strike. And the Rockies, with the victory last night, got their team back to the 500 mark. And they're 3 games off the pace in the NL West, trailing the defending world champion San Francisco Giants, who lead the division. And then the D-backs start the night just a half game out.
Yeah, the Giants on a 4-game losing streak.
Runner goes, and it's chopped to first. Santana, fair ball, tags the bag to get the out. Gonzalez gets into scoring position with 1 out now.
Let's take a look at the Indians' defense, brought to you by Pat O'Brien Chevrolet, saluting the men and women defending our country and watching on the Armed Forces Network. It'll be Travis Buckenlove tonight. Brantley is in center, Chu in right. Hanahan back at third base as Drubel at short. Phelps is at second. Santana at first, with Lou Marson back behind the plate.
Greg Gibson calling the balls and strikes. Sam Holbrook at first. Todd Tichenor at second. And the crew chief, Jerry Davis, is at third. Ball 1 up high to Todd Helton, who was 2 for 4 last night.
Well, and a guy last night we see a couple of times in the ball game, very close pitches on 2 strikes, but he has a very good eye at the plate.
There's a strike called, and it evens things up. Foul out of play. Rockies are truly a 500 team. 17-17 now on the road after their win last night, and 19-19 at home at Coors Field. The 1-2. Got him. Looked like a cutter maybe for Talbot. And he strikes out Helton for out number 2.
Let's take a look at the Time Warner cable pitch tracker, and it was a cutter down and in. You're going to see, there it is, a good pitch. Got him to chase that ball off the zone. Went inside with it. Helton goes after it. That's a great location by Talbot.
Troy Tulowitzki, 2 for 5 with a double last night. Runner in scoring position with 2 down here in the first. And a strike over the outside corner. I don't have to tell you how much damage this team can do with 2 outs after what they did last night with 2 outs and nobody on base.
Well, he was 2 for 2 last night with a runner in scoring position. He got the big hit that hit third base with the bases loaded. Caught a huge break in that 6-run inning.
Out of play. It's 0-2. Yeah, it's pretty hard in a ball game to have 2 outs, bases empty, and the next 7 guys all reach safely, and 6 of them scored. Chop foul third base side. And the count remains 0-2.
We got it.
Does that microphone work any better?
Who cares?
Oh, yeah, there we go. Now we've got...
It helps when it's plugged in.
I don't know. I got to go get my own chair. My microphone doesn't work. I'm only doing this 2 times every couple of weeks.
Making you feel right at home, aren't we?
Exactly, yeah. I should have given y'all some more chicken.
We're going to see if we can get a humming in your headset as well.
Here's the 2-strike pitch. And Tulowitzki with a tapper towards short as Drupal Cabrera slings it over, and the inning is over. So Talbot gets through the first unscathed. Indians coming to bat. It's brought to you by Progressive Insurance, proud to be the official auto insurance provider of your Cleveland Indians. Michael Brantley, Cord Phelps, and his Drupal Cabrera at the top. Travis Hafner, Shin-Soo Choo, Carlos Santana occupy the middle third. Then it's Travis Buck, Jack Hanahan, and Lou Marson.
On the mound for Colorado, Jolie Chassin is making his 15th start. He is 8-4, a brilliant 2.81 ERA. He has been 4-1 on the road this year at 3.48. His ERA is even better at home, which is hard to believe in Colorado. But just 66 hits in his 93 innings. And this guy, he is very stingy. You get runners on base. He doesn't like to give up much. They're hitting just 115 with runners in scoring position off him this year.
Brantley with a swing and a miss. Michael was 2 for 5 last night in the game. Now the 0-2, and it's in the dirt. Now the 1-2. Chop towards first. Easy play for Todd Helton. One away.
Let's take a look at the Home Depot doing more on defense. Rockies defense tonight. It'll be Blackman in left, Gonzalez in center, Smith is back in right. Wigington is at third, Tulowitzki at short, Herrera at second, Helton is at first, Iannetta behind the plate. More savings, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot.
Moved up to that number 2 hole tonight. Switch hitter was 1 for 4 last night. And a bouncer toward Helton again. And on the move, he hits his target for out number 2. Jolice Chassin has really stolen the thunder from Ubaldo Jimenez, who was tremendous last year. Jimenez was a 19-game winner for the Rockies last season. But Chassin, how about these numbers? In his last 15 starts at Coors Field, a notoriously great hitter's park, his ERA is 2.34. It's the lowest ever in a 15-game stretch in its 17-year history.
Very impressive.
He's also held opponents in his last 15 starts at Coors Field to a 197 batting average, which is also the lowest in a 15-start span ever.
He must be cheating.
He's dominating.
You look
somehow
at him this year, hitters are only hitting 196 coming into today. 81 strikeouts in his 93 innings. And he doesn't give up many hits. He's got electric stuff. This is his first career start, obviously, against the Tribe. So that first time through, you want to try and get a look at as many pitches as you can against this guy.
Well, the Rockies are doing a good job scouting and finding some very talented pitchers. The 2-1. 3 balls and a strike. Remember years ago, Rick, we would go to Coors Field and they were spending money on Denny Nagel and Mike Hampton, trying to find a veteran savvy pitcher that maybe could go into Coors Field and succeed. And that didn't work.
No, you need good sinker ball pitchers, guys that can keep the ball on the ground. I guess you could use that in any ballpark, couldn't you? I mean,
yeah, obviously you could, but especially in the rarefied air there in Denver, you've got to keep the ball down and keep them on the ground. I don't think you'll survive very long not doing that.
Cabrera strikes out, and Chassin sets the Indians down 1-2-3. We'll go to the second, no score in Cleveland. McDonald's. What's sweet and tart, cool and refreshing? McDonald's McCafe Frozen Strawberry Lemonade. By your Northern Ohio Toyota dealers. And by AT&T. Second inning here at Progressive Field. Jason Giambi will lead off for the Rockies. The big DH drilled a game-changing homer last night. And his 3-run shot was a major blow in that 6-run inning.
Well, it was, but what I like about what the Indians did last night, both times they came back after Colorado scored. You know, he hit that 3-run home run to give him a 6-run inning and make it a 7-4 game, and they came right back and scored 2 on the board, so it brought them right back into it. But you're right, that capped off a huge inning.
Giambi's still a dangerous hitter, but nothing like he used to be. I mean, now he can be pitched to.
Right.
I mean, you can throw the breaking ball to his back foot. You can throw the sinker down and away from him, bust him up and in. You know, when he was younger, back with Oakland, you couldn't do. I mean, he could hit the ball no matter where you threw it hard. Yeah.
Talbot taking too much time. Giambi steps away.
Well, I mean, you look at him this year, and he only has like 53 at-bats because he's basically pinch hitting, but he has 7 home runs in the 53 at-bats, so people are making mistakes on him.
Goes in off the plate again to make the count 2-2. Well, we saw last night with Carmona, if you just continue to pitch him away, he'll go out there eventually and still clobber it. Seth Smith waits on deck, and then Ty Wigington for the Rockies here in the second. Down too low. Full count. Now the Rockies have been swinging the bats very well so far in the month of June. They have the best batting average in the National League. They got off to a very slow start offensively, but they've heated up. Giambi rockets that into right field, and it gets by Chu all the way to the fence. Giambi will turn and eventually get to second base, barely ahead of the throw.
Well, that was just a bad route run by Chu right there. He thought the ball was going to be a line drive, had a little more carry to it than he thought. And as humid as it is here today, the ball will carry. And he comes running in like it was a line drive he was going to have to maybe dive for. And then watch the angle. You'll get to see him. Top of your screen. He comes in, and that's an by you. That's past him. So a double for Giambi to start the second inning. So back-to-back innings, they've had their leadoff man aboard.
You know, baseball, you always talk about first step. Who has a good first step, and they're talking about foot quickness more than anything. But in the outfield, your first step is so important because it takes you to the right route that you want to run to cut that ball off.
That's the angle, right.
Seth Smith was 2 for 5 last night with a double. Outside, 2 balls, no strikes. Rockies with their leadoff man aboard for the second inning in a row. Talbot delivers and just does catch the outside corner. Smith has 28 extra base hits, second only to Troy Tulowitzki on this Rockies club. And the 2-1 is in there for a strike to even things up.
Well, Mitch Talbot, a guy that usually takes a little while to get started. If you're going to get him, you could usually tell early the first, I'd say, 3 innings. First time through the lineup, hitters are hitting over 400 against him, and then he settles down. Second time, 300. He's out there, it's 229. He settles in, he gets a feel for all his pitches.
That's foul, first base side. Well, last night the Rockies took advantage when they got their runners into scoring position. We talked about the big inning they had. They were 6 for 14 with runners in scoring position last night. Already 0 for 2 here this evening.
Yeah, it's tough to win a ball game when you have you give up a 6-run inning. We talked about 3-run innings that they've had this year. And if you can have a 3-run inning, it's awfully tough to come back from. But they doubled that.
The 2-2. Popped it back out of play.
Well, a guy like Mitch Talbot, who doesn't have that blazing 6-mile-an-hour fastball, well, location is his game completely. And so far, the 2 balls that we've seen hit hard, like Gonzalez and Giambi, have been pitches that he's missed his spots and gotten the ball up.
The 2-2. Again, he just spoils it by flicking the bat
they're good
out
pitches,
there.
though. No, he's making good pitches. That's just a nice job right there by Smith of staying alive. He had a pitch earlier. He was trying to, pull the ball on the ground if he could, but you see that one going down and away, and that's all you can do with that pitch as a hitter. You foul it off and learn to live for another pitch in hopes he makes a mistake. But right there, that was a great pitch.
This will be the 8th pitch of the at-bat coming up right here for Talbot. And Smith steps away. And the 2-2 is lined to right field, a base hit. Giambi coming to third. He'll have to hold there. And back-to-back hits for Colorado to open up this second inning. Now, this Rockies team pounded out a dozen hits last night, and that's now double-digit hit figures 9 times in their last 12 games.
There's another pitch upstairs. He muscled the breaking ball, or cutter. Looked like a slider that he muscles and gets it over the head of Santana at first base. That's a great pitch for him to pull and get his job done. He does that, gets him over to third base, gets credited with a hit. So now runners at the corners and nobody out.
Ty Wigington was 0 for 4 last night. And Talbot gets ahead with a strike. Back out of play. Wigington, as I mentioned, was 0 for 4 last night, but he's been on a pretty good roll offensively since May 24th, so we're talking almost a month. He's hit 300. 13 driven in, 16 runs scored. And the 0-2. Giambi, the runner at third. Seth Smith is down at first with nobody out here in inning 2. And the 1-2 pitch, right back to the mound. Talbot's got the runner hung up at third. He goes to second to get the force there, and they almost turn a double play anyway. But the runner at first is safe, and there is 1 out, still runners at the corners.
Well, he looked the runner back at third, which he should do, and there was nobody there, so he couldn't throw it. So he goes to second base, gets the lead runner. I want to look and see what happened at first. He looks him back, nobody there. Go to second, gets the lead runner, and then the throw back. And I don't know if it would have been on time or he was off the bag. The throw wasn't wide, was it?
It looked like the throw was wide, came off the bag. Runner came up on Phelps and caused him to again, alter his throwing motion.
That's the second time that happened. That happened the other day.
I saw that the other day.
Guy came sliding and running on a 3-2 pitch, and he was popping up. And Phelps, it's a second time.
You got to clear yourself. I mean, that's as you learn to play the position. You got it.
Santana goes to second for one. The return throw in time. They get the double play to get out of the jam. Not conventional, but they get it done. We go to the bottom of the second, still no score. Northeastern Ohio early this morning. And then once they rolled through, it just got hot and humid in a hurry, and it stayed that way all afternoon long. Bottom of the second inning here at Progressive Field. Travis Hafner, Shin-Soo Choo, and Carlos Santana. Now the 1-0 pitch. At the knees for a strike, 1-1. Travis Hafner gave the Indians a lead in the first inning with a 3-run homer. Almost looked like he hit it one-handed, didn't it? Relax, you're at Great Clips. Jolie's Chassin with a 2-1 and a breaking ball in there. Beauty.
It looks like he has an assortment of pitches. Seen a splitter, that curve ball there. He'll sink his fastball.
And good command of all of them.
And it seems like it. And then I see a change for, and good command is right.
A little bit inside. 3-2.
There's so many pitchers, and it's so important to be able to pitch to the inside part of the plate like he did on that pitch right there. But so many pitchers are afraid to do that because if you start that ball in there and it comes back over the plate at all, that ball gets hit awfully hard. But you've got to be able to pitch in there to get the pit to get the outs away, which is what you're looking for.
See if he comes back with another curveball where he had him. No, went with a fastball, two-seamer. But you're right. You have to have hitters looking both sides of the plate, the whole 17 inches. If they can cut it in half and just look at one half of that plate, you're going to be in for a long night if you're a pitcher.
You remember the old hitting coach Charlie Lau?
Yes.
Who was Georgia bred hitting coach and one of the all-timers. Told me back when I first started playing that I was struggling talking to him, and he said, Mike, as a hitter, you can't look in and out. You've got to look either in or out and give up half of the plate.
Right.
Which just goes with what you're saying. That you can't I mean, you can look in and out and hit the ball, but you're not going to hit it hard. In the big leagues, if you don't hit the ball hard consistently, you're not going to get base hits. And so you really got to, it's a game between the pitcher and the hitter to what part of the plate you're going to try to get me out in. And you go out there as a hitter and take that away from them.
But until you get to 2 strikes as a hitter, you have to be disciplined and take that pitch. If you're looking inside, you don't swing at a pitch away.
Exactly.
Until you get to 2 strikes, then you try and protect the whole plate.
Mm-hmm.
The payoff pitch. Hafner with a fly ball to center field right at Gonzalez. He barely has to move at all. 1 away. Let's get a look at our trivia question tonight, brought to you by AT&T. 2 players in Major League history have hit for the cycle and turned an unassisted triple play.
Wow.
Well, just like last night's trivia question, I can eliminate 2 of us.
Wow.
Hit for the cycle.
Shin-Soo Choo looks at a ball outside. Back to the mound, Chacin with a nice grab. And the flip, 2 away.
Well, you can fill the house for charity tomorrow when the Tribe will wrap up the series against the Colorado Rockies. Ball game starts at 7:05, and $1 from every ticket sold will be donated to the Special Olympics of Ohio. Get your tickets at Indians.com, and remember, buy your tickets in advance for great savings.
Carlos Santana had a big night last night in the series opener, going 3 for 4 with a home run. A little bit low, 1 ball, 1 strike. Missed with the off-speed pitch. 2 balls and a strike for Santana. No score, 2nd inning.
Chacin looked a little upset with himself after he delivered that curveball. Maybe something mechanically that he felt that he was upset with. There you go. Came right back with it and got a feel for it.
2-2 the count now for Santana. Talking about our trivia question, he started a triple play earlier this year in the first game he played at first base. Now the 2-2. That was a tremendous play, a tremendous effort on his part. Remember, he came charging in and dove and caught that little pop bunt.
Well, they went on to win 8 straight games after in that ball game. That was their first win of the year.
Mm-hmm. Chacin's payoff pitch. It's in the dirt. He did not go. It's ball 4, and the Indians have their first base runner with 2 down here in inning number 2.
Got it up, been started, but no, he held up. Good call. So first walk of the night for Chacin.
That's going to bring up Travis Buck. Outside edge, a called strike. Buck tried to stop an 0 for 21. A little bit outside.
0 for 21.
Yeah, that's
Nobody deserves that.
well, no, you don't. But he's been a guy that he wasn't playing all the time. You know, you get a few starts in there mixed in and a couple of pinch hit appearances. But there's been a number of streaks like that this year for Indians hitters. When you look at
They
it,
have. You're right. They absolutely have.
There's a high fly ball to right field, a routine for Smith. He backs up to grab it, and the inning is over. 2 complete from Progressive Field, no score. Our Miller taste greatness moment. No score, 3rd inning. Chris Iannetta, Carlos Gonzalez, and Jonathan Herrera due for the Rockies. Grounded towards 3rd, and Jack Hanahan flips it over. 1 away. Well, Mitch Talbot getting the start today, and with more on the Indians right-hander, let's go down and join our Katie with him.
Well, Matt, Indians pitching coach Tim Belcher told me he can tell what kind of game Mitch Talbot is going to have from the way he handles the first 6 to 7 batters. He actually told me that last year they used to simulate a first inning in the clubhouse before Talbot would come out on the mound to ensure a better start. They haven't felt the need to do that with him just yet, but what Belcher is looking for from Talbot tonight, success with his changeup early on and also getting ahead in the count to limit that pitch count, guys.
well, he's had 5 0-2, 1-2 counts to this point. So that's one way to go about it. He did give up the 0-2 base hit, but that was the first hitter of the ball game.
That's this guy right here, Carlos Gonzalez. Pretty safe to say he is locked in as a hitter right now, too.
Well, he's one of those guys. You give him a little confidence, and he can have a breakout series.
Cord Phelps feels that ground ball cleanly. 2 down. Let's check out our minor league report right now. And it's brought to you by Kia. Boy, Scott Barnes, last night 3-1 win. Last 10 starts, how about that? 6-0. He's got a 3.23 ERA, and the Clippers stay red hot. Barnes hasn't lost a game since April 19th.
Stay hot, young man.
23-year-old left-hander. Tied for 4th in the league in wins down there. 5th in strikeouts in the International League. Jonathan Herrera bounced out to first base his first time up. 3-0 the count. And he walked him on 4 straight after he had the first 2 out to start this 3rd inning, and that's going to bring up Todd Helton, who struck out his first time up. Even with their loss last night, the Indians still a game in front of Detroit, who lost on the West Coast late last night. Chicago with 5.5 games back in 3rd place. Then the Twins have vaulted in front of Kansas City, 7.5 games out of 1st. Minnesota has won 7 in a row. The 1-0 pitch. Slice foul, out of play. How about Cincinnati already rained out? They'll play a split doubleheader tomorrow.
Well, the Storms must be south then. I guess we say better them than us.
Well, the word is they're rolling this way, but hopefully that won't be until later.
Okay.
Keep our fingers crossed.
Who told you that, Teflon Tom?
No. I have higher sources than that.
I hope so. I'm just checking.
Missed inside. 2-1 to count. .45 pitches so far for Mitch Talbot. 30 of those have been strikes. So pretty good 2-to-1 Marsh ratio right now.
The thing about Mitch tonight, it looks like he's been pitching on the edge the whole night. I mean, it seems like they're just one hit from something happening, but he's made the pitches when he's needed to, which is a great sign.
Got the outside corner.
Great pitch, 2-1 changeup down and away. Boy, that's one way as a hitter. There's nothing you can do. You're sitting up there thinking you're going to get a pretty good pitch to hit. Marson says, we're going to go soft with this guy right now, and he put it in a great spot.
Now, Helton has no idea what he's going to throw now.
That's the key to pitching. Yeah, he got him the first time on that breaking ball down and in. He got the swing at, and they're going right back there. Good
and
pitch.
He beats it into the ground. Cord Phelps throws him out. We'll go to the bottom of the 3rd. Still no score. On the edge so far here tonight, but he's continued to put up goose eggs. Meanwhile, the Indians have had just one base runner in their first 2 tries against Jolie Chassin. Jack Hanahan, Lou Marson, Michael Brantley due up here in the home half of the 3rd. Back-to-back strikes, and Hanahan down on the count 0-2. Jack got the day off yesterday, and Manny Acta said that Orlando Cabrera would get more time at third base. Said he talked to Orlando about that back in spring training to sort of plant the seed, and then when they called up Cord Phelps, he again reiterated to him that he would play third base from time to time, and it's enabled him to take some ground balls and at least get himself ready. Not going to be an everyday situation. It's just been sort of an oddball combination in that Hanahan, as a left-handed hitter, has really struggled against right-handed pitching this year. And it's been great against lefties.
A lot of times what happens when a player does that is if they're trying to do too much because they feel too comfortable seeing the ball. All hitters are used to the ball coming into them. I mean, those are the pitches that you hit the best. Right-hander to a left-hand hitter, left-hand pitcher to a right-hand hitter. It's different seeing the ball, move away from you. With a left-hander, as a left-hand hitter, you have to concentrate more. I mean, you really have to buckle down and really grind, as they say. Sometimes a guy feels a little comfortable. You're seeing the ball a little bit better, and it's you try to do too much with it and get yourself out. I'm not saying that's what's happening with Jack, but that's a likely explanation, and that's as good as I can come up with.
One down here in the 3rd brings up Lou Marson.
Well, when he does take his base hits, and he has a few times this year to go to left field and stay on right-handers, it's been fun to watch. But, I mean, it's few and far between. That swing seems to get a little longer against the right-handers than it does the lefties.
It does. His weight goes to his heels. He's pulling off the plate, trying to pull the ball and hit the ball hard.
Here's Lou Marson, who conversely does a great job staying on the ball.
Right.
I mean, here's a guy who's
the opposite,
looking to go the other way.
Well, and maybe to a point too much where he goes the other way. Instead of pushing the ball to right field, when you get pitches and counts in your favor, that's as a hitter where you want to sit down and take a healthy cut. That's what Asdrubal's doing this year. Take your shot, man. There's nothing wrong. You've earned it to get the count in your favor. Now, when you get to that approach, that's a great two-strike approach that he has. That's why he hits left-handers so well. They try and throw that cutter inside on him. He doesn't try to pull it. And he's starting to hit better against right-handers now because he's getting more playing time.
Well, here's one of those scenarios you just talked about. He's got the count tipped in his favor now, 2-1.
Well, you figure your 9th place hitter, look for that fastball from this guy. And if you get one, let it rip.
That's right, but don't take a half swing and slider in the dirt.
Right.
Let
it rip with that fastball. If you get the breaking ball, take it.
Chops it towards 3rd.
Boy, that ball had some movement to it.
Wigington throws him out, 2 down. Check in once again with Katie Witham.
Well, guys, everything's a little more fun when you have your friends along, right? The Indians have great price packages when you bring a group of 25 along with you or more. Also, they can plan your whole meal for you with all-inclusive picnic packages. Just log on to Indians.com and check out the group pricing for 25 or more now, guys.
Thanks, Katie. 2 down for Michael Brantley. Looks at a ball down low.
If you're Bruce Fields coming into a situation like this where the hitting instructor was let go, John Nunley, and you're coming in and you know the hitters. You don't know them as well as if you're with them every day, living with them, but he does know them. When do you start your program? You start it the day you come in? You wait a couple of days and look at them and let them get to know you and your personality a little bit better? That's a tough spot to be in.
Touchy
yeah, it really
spot.
is.
I guess the way you put it that way, if I walked into a situation, I sort of observe. I'd sit back and look for a week. Not that you don't go in there, but before you see something mechanically that you want to go talk to them, it may be better off.
Brantley with a 4-pitch walk with 2 down keeps the inning going. I can tell you this, guys, and talking to Bruce before the game today, I think what he's doing a lot of is talking and listening, trying to get some information. Like he told me he's talked to Shin-Soo Choo quite a bit and just getting feedback, and then he can understand what Choo's doing as a hitter, what he's feeling at the plate, what his thought process is, and then kind of work off of that.
That's a great approach, and what it does is it lets the players, whether you listen to their input or not, it lets them think that they've got to say so in what's going on, and 99% of the time they do, but it allows them to buy into what you're trying to teach them and to present to them, and instead of coming in like a bull in a china closet saying, okay, doggone it, this is the way we're going to do it, we're going to do A, B, C, and D, and if you don't, you're not going to play. That doesn't work. I mean, it sounds good, and there's a lot of us that love to do that, but that approach doesn't work. These guys are awfully good, and they have an idea about how they do things, and you've got to approach them in the right way to get them to buy in from day one, or it's going to be, it's going to be like pulling teeth.
You can only watch so much video. Hitting's a mental game. You've got to be right mentally, and you've got to know the individual before you can start trying to change anything.
Well, yeah, I've said all along, and I really believe it. The biggest separator at the big league level is the guy that's mentally tough and mentally together all the time. There's no reason to ever be defeated mentally. That's the one thing in this game of uncontrollables that you can control.
Right.
And it's you see it in golf today with Tiger Woods. I mean, here's a guy that was on top of the world, and his world came crashing down, and he's come back out. He's not the same guy as far as golf is concerned. It's all confidence. Rory McIlroy goes out and blows away everybody in the Open because he had loads of confidence. It's the same with these guys. Sin Soo Choo, when he struggles, you can see the lack of confidence there. So mental toughness, mental focus is a huge separator when the level of talent is at this level.
Mike, Albert Bell had his personality hang-ups.
You think?
Did you have a more mentally focused hitter in your time?
No, I don't think I ever had, somebody that was that, anal about it, because he was. He was the best prepared hitter that I was ever around. I mean, and that was, he had the God-given talent to go along with it, and but mentally tough. I didn't think Albert was very mentally tough, but mentally focused and prepared. Off the charts. And absolutely believed in what he did and his ability to do it. If you were looking for Albert during the day and you couldn't find him, go to the batting cage. That's where he was at all the time.
What was his kryptonite? Because you said he wasn't especially mentally strong. What was one thing that you knew that was going to get under his skin or upset him and take him out of his approach?
It was something different every day. It was something, really was something different, and it was little things, not anything big. Not anything big. Things that you'd think that would sidetrack him, he blew right through. It was little bitty things that you'd think now. Grand scheme of things, this is a gnat on an elephant's back. But to Albert, it wasn't, and he sure made your offense a better offense, and as time went on, his defense came a long way also.
Perfectionists get like that. It's the little things that bother them. It's not the big things. They can get over the big things. It's always the little things.
3-1 pitch, runner goes. It's up high, ball 4. And how about that? Chacin has walked 2 in a row with 2 down here in the third inning, and he set the table for Asdrubal Cabrera. And he's going to get a visit from the pitching coach.
Well, this is when you want to take advantage of it. They haven't gotten their hit yet, but he just walked his third guy back-to-back with 2 outs. Bob Apodaca's going to go out and have a talk to him. I saw him struggling with himself one time when he threw a couple of pitches. He had a little meeting with himself, and maybe mechanically he felt what he was doing wrong. Now his pitching coach is going to go out and make sure, okay, look, there's no harm. You just walk a couple guys, get right back in there and get back into your zone and throw strikes.
Already 6 times tonight he's had hitters with a 3-ball count. So he's starting to fall into a little bit of a rut where he's falling behind a lot early in the game.
Sometimes that's what you want to do, too. They give you a little break here. Take advantage of it.
It'll be interesting to see how he pitches after Apodaca was out there. Yesterday, Apodaca went out to can't think of the kid's name.
Oh, the kid that started last night?
Anyway, he went out there and because he'd gotten in trouble throwing those sliders, he said, hey, look, go to your fastball. Yeah, the Casio. And all of a sudden he comes out and he's throwing everything 96, 97 mile an hour and started throwing really well. It'll be interesting to see what this guy does.
His 51st pitch of the night is outside ball 1 to Asdrubal Cabrera.
Maybe that's what he said. Establish that fastball and get back to it to where you're throwing strikes before you get too cute and start going to your secondary stuff. Again.
High and away, 2 balls, no strikes. He looks frustrated right now.
Yes, he does. He's not even looking in at the catcher. He's He is. And, visibly shaken, you pick that up as a hitter. You can see that in the on-deck circle. You see it in the batter's box. You don't want to help him out. You want to force him to get into the strike zone. So go ahead. Maybe you want to take a strike here.
2 on, 2 out, 2-0 pitch.
And he throws that curveball. How about that? That seems to me his go-to pitch when he needs to throw one.
Yeah, well, it gets his. What it does, it slows him down. He gets his rhythm. He catches his balance, and he gets his arm slot better, and it translates back up to his fastball. But, a lot of the young kids, when they get in trouble, you see them. They, instead of settling down and maybe taking a little bit off, they just start trying to throw harder and harder and harder.
Right.
And it doesn't work at all. Felix Hernandez I had in Seattle. And Felix was that way. I mean, he threw the ball 97, 98 mile an hour. He had 4 big league out pitches. And he'd get in trouble. Instead of settling down and doing what, just letting it flow for him, he'd start trying to throw the ball 198, and it just didn't work.
Power your way through it, and that's not the way to do it. Sometimes you back it off.
Cabrera in a good spot here. 2 on, 2 out, 3-1 pitch. Ball 4, and they're loaded on 3 straight walks. And Travis Hafner will be coming to the plate. And now, everybody in the infield coming in for a chat.
Well, he knows he's struggling more than anybody. I don't know how much you can tell him. He's just got to sit back. The only pitch he threw for a strike in that count was the curveball. See if he comes back and throws it to try and just get strike 1 here for Hafner.
Now, here's that age-old situation. You got a guy coming to the plate. Your middle-of-the-order guy. He's just walked 3 in a row. So he can't swing early in the count, right? He's got to make him throw a strike?
No, he can swing early in the count.
He can swing whatever he wants.
That's the biggest fallacy, and we all fall into that trap. Here's a guy on the mound. He's a little wild, and he's ball 4 to everybody, walks the bases loaded, and then one of your big hitters comes up and he throws a fastball down the pipe and you pop it up or you swing at it, and everybody's going, oh, my goodness, he's throwing, take a strike. Well, no, don't take a strike. If it's a pitch you want, hammer it.
Chacin delivers. And Hafner takes it. High ball 1.
Yeah, and he forces him to try. He came back with a curveball. The last pitch he threw for a strike, and he missed with that.
Well, Travis is a perfect hitter for this situation because he is a patient hitter. A young hitter goes up there and sees that curveball, and all of a sudden he probably swung 3 times before the ball ever gets to the plate. He's so anxious.
The 1-0. Takes a fastball for a strike, evens the count. Hafner with 11 career grand slams.
But I did find, and I'm sure you have too, Arch, is that the farther you get away from home plate, the easier the game becomes.
That's true, too. Yeah. But, I mean, when you're looking at thought process, the hitter takes into consideration everything. And you're right, Hafner was looking for 1 pitch on that first one. If it was a fastball, I bet he would have let it go.
That's fouled out of play. And now Chacin gets ahead 1-2.
This one, it looked like he ran it inside on him a little bit.
There's a good chance that Travis is going to see a whole carload full of curveballs and splits right now.
I would think so. But, Travis, when he's locked in, and he's swinging okay. I mean, he just came off the DL not too long ago, but it doesn't matter with him when he gets down in the count. There's times when he fights his way back into the count, into the at-bat when you're swinging well. He's one of the hitters that can do it.
Well, I thought he had a pretty good at-bat his first time up.
He did.
And he got a pretty decent pitch. Hit it pretty well, but it just kind of, routine to center field. Every once in a while, everything comes together and you just don't quite square it up.
Movement on the pitch.
Exactly.
And he strikes him out. He gets out of the jam, walks 3 straight to load him up, strikes out Hafner, and we are still scoreless through 3. Mitch Talbot has made 47 pitches so far. 32 have been strikes. He's done a nice job so far and keeping the Rockies off the board.
Really did a good job back in that second inning. First and third, nobody out, and got himself out of it.
First pitch strike to Troy Tulowitzki, who grounded out to short his first time up.
I always found it curious, the guy that is a power hitter hitting fourth in the lineup and fakes a bunt.
Well, do you think it's going to try and bring that third baseman in? Because I know he's not coming.
I didn't see any of them move a step.
Tulowitzki pops up to the catcher, Marson. His counterpart is Drupal Cabrera, is having an all-star season. And he's made some unbelievable defensive plays. I asked him before the game tonight, guys, which one was better? This one, the bare hand grab, which was incredible, or the one he had earlier in Chicago off the deflection where he went bare hand behind the back?
I say the one here.
That's what he said. He goes, the one in Chicago was better because we turned the double play. But he said, he did tell me that that bare hand grab play is not by accident. He said it's something you definitely work on, you practice it. But he said that the play the other day actually happened because he said I didn't get my feet set properly.
Right.
And he said I got to the point where it was like, uh-oh, now I can't even get my glove to it. And he said the only option I had was to try and grab it with my hand.
That's why he had that little smirk on his face. He still made the play, even though it wasn't fundamentally sound on his part of it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we talked about it when we were talking about it, that if your feet dictate everything that you do with your glove, with everything, and
it also goes to show you, Mike, that sometimes if you just have a lot of talent, you can get by with making mistakes. You can make that little fundamental mistake and still overcome it.
The guys at this level, some of them can. Yeah.
You know, you talked about getting a good step as an outfielder. Sometimes you can maybe take a false step and still make up for it because of your ability.
Guys that can run that fast, yeah. I've seen a lot of outfielders that would get bad jumps or bad breaks. They just outrun the ball and make a catch.
Kenny Lofton, when Kenny Lofton played here, Kenny Lofton did that a lot.
He always played deep, yes. Ricky Henderson used to do that a lot because he could run. If they ever learned how to get good jumps, you wouldn't be able to get a hit.
Jason Giambi doubled to right center. And there's no denying he hit the ball hard. But that was a play where we talked about it. It looked like Chu just didn't read it real well off the bat and took a bad angle.
No, it was a bad angle. He had a bad play again last night, too, for a guy that hustled and got a double. I think it was Smith. Hit a ball, and they expected just to be a single. He ended up on second base.
Fouled off.
Well, I don't mean to be critical, but I guess I'm going to be a little bit. The one thing that I've noticed about the Indians as they've gone through this spell and starting to come out of it is that it doesn't look to me like as a team that they're mentally sharp. You take the
down the right field line. That's going to be trouble and a base hit. Chu is going to hold Giambi to a long single. Throws back behind him and it hit. Did it hit him?
Yeah, it did. It sure did.
It was either him or the umpire. Either way, Giambi has his second hit of the night.
But you take the play of Sin Chu last night when he assumed that Phelps was going to get to the ball and didn't hustle into it, and the guy turned it into a double. The double play earlier when Phelps didn't come across the bag or didn't move away from the bag to clear himself for the throw. Just little things like Hanahan not being at third base on that. Yes, get caught looking. And those are little things that early on they weren't doing. Early on they were at their spots where they were supposed to be, and it paid off. It's real indicative, I think, of a young ball club to go through spells like this, but you can't continue to be in that mental place and expect to compete and win every night, and that's the difference between the experience.
Nice play by Santana. Goes to second. They get one. No return throw.
Experience veteran ball club and a young, inexperienced club that's trying to find its identity and trying to establish itself and learn how to win. That wasn't too critical, was it?
No, I'll tell you what, this is a nice play right here. Getting the lead runner. Tried to get back. Cabrera felt that just was not going to get there in time. You don't want to have to lead the runner.
Rick looked like he might have had just a little trouble getting it out, too.
He might have, yeah. And just wisely holds on to it. But a nice play. That ball gets down the line, extra bases.
Mike, when you have a young team like that and you see those kind of mistakes, do you wait and pick an opportune time to chew their tail, or do you jump on it right away as a manager? What seems to be the best approach?
I think with the young ball club, the young players, that you can't afford to wait. They need to be told right then. Now you don't get them. You start yelling at them as they're coming off the field. You wait for them to get down to their bench and get all the stuff set. Take their glove off, their hat off, and sit down. And then call them down into the back into the runway or somewhere and talk to them and tell you don't have to yell at them, chew at them. Just say, hey, look, that's not the way we do that here. We want to.
Jack Hanahan's throw is on the money. We'll continue this conversation. We go to the bottom of the fourth. Still no score. No score, bottom of the fourth. Field Indians had a chance in that third when Jolie Chassin walked the bases loaded all after he had 2 outs, but then he came back to strike out Travis Hafner to end the threat. This will be his 60th pitch of the game right here. 47% have been strikes. His only downfall so far is that he's been working deep into counts. He's had 7 counts of 3 balls to hitters. But he's yet to allow a hit.
Right, still hasn't given up a hit. Well, this is going their second time through. At least 3 of them got to see it, and they got to reach base. But to me, that's been his money pitch there.
Boy, Helton, you talk about being your feet in position and having soft hands. Todd Helton looks like it's effortless the way he feels those in-between hops.
The good ones do. I mean, it's just yeah.
Look, it makes it look easy. He ended the game last night with a play like that. And I'll tell you what, there it is. You stay down on it, and he 3 Gold Gloves. The guy's not only a good hitter, but that leather in his hand, he can still pick it. Boy, and a good first baseman. When you have a guy over there that can pick it, you save your other infielders a lot of errors and runs during the course of the year. It's fun to watch guys that are really, really good. Mark Teixeira is fun to watch with the Yankees. Todd Helton's fun to watch. Adrian Gonzalez with Boston. The guys that can play first base. People think it's an easy position to play, but I'm going to tell you, it is not.
If you want to play the position right, you can take Joe Blow and put him out there and say, okay, stand right here, and when the ball's hit on the ground, go cover the bag. But if you want to play it right, it can be a difficult position to play. You've got a lot of decisions to make, and you're busy. Other than maybe the catcher, you're probably the second busiest player on the team.
And the thing of it is, I mean, a lot of people do just put people out there to play first base. It's fun when you don't think about it. It's just reaction with everything that goes on in the course of the game where you're not thinking where you have to be in situations.
Santana cuts and misses, 2-2 the count. I think, Mike, we talked about this before, but it just seems like more times than not, first basemen end up being converted first basemen. There aren't many guys who are first basemen from the time they're drafted and come all the way up as first baseman.
I agree. And I think it goes back to that theory that let's play so and so. Swings the bat well. Let's play him at first base. Anybody can play first base, but if you've never played it before, you don't realize there's a lot more that goes on into it than just standing there and covering the bag.
Is that also because maybe at the amateur level you don't have good hitters playing first base then? So they're not developing at that level?
I don't know. Usually even at the amateur level, I went down to Kansas not last year, but the two previous years and coached a summer collegiate team. Mm-hmm. And, even at those levels, and that's those are players we got from premier university programs, Texas, USC, Arizona State, Kent State. We didn't have any of their players, but they had players around. And all these, they're still, the first baseman usually is one of your stalwarts as an offensive player, usually, because, that's just a position that, obviously the corners and the corner outfielders are usually your RBI power guys. But it's like Archie said, it's fun to watch somebody that's good with the glove because they make it so easy and they make everybody around them better. And there's very few people in professional sports that make the people around them better.
Travis Buck flied to right his first time up. And the count is 2-1. Now that's an interesting way of looking at it because you think of other sports, hockey, basketball. You know the guys who make the other players better because they've got the ability to do it with the ball by assisting, dishing it out, passing it. Baseball, it's all flipped.
Yeah.
It's on the defensive side, but really the same can be said about a first baseman. That's really where you have your greatest impact as far as making other people better because you save them from errors if you can scoop it on bad
your
throws.
Infielders love you at first base when you pick it.
When they've got the ability to be able to not have to make a perfect throw every time,
it takes the pressure off of them.
Yeah, it really does. I mean, there were people that when I played, and I hate to keep bringing it up when I played, but I guess that's the only reference I've got. That I'd catch a ground ball and go to make the throw at second base to the shortstop coming in, thinking this needs to be a good throw, or we're in trouble, and you do tense up trying to be too perfect with it.
Routine bouncer to short. Tulowitzki throws him out. Indians go 1-2-3, and we've played 4 complete with no score. By United, proud to fly the Cleveland Indians. By your Northern Ohio Hyundai dealers, it's time to join the Hyundai movement. And by Panini's, get overstuffed at any one of 18 locations in Northeast Ohio. Fifth inning here at Progressive Field, still no score. Charlie Blackmon, Chris Iannetta, and Carlos Gonzalez for the Rockies. Colorado's had a base runner in every inning, but Talbot has kept them from scoring.
Well, he's made his pitches when he has had to. When he's been behind in the count, he's making quality pitches. And this is good because he hasn't pitched well in this ballpark. This only being his third start, you know. I mean, he missed a good portion of the year being on the disabled list. And, boy, when you come back, it's tough to get right back in and think you're just like the rest of them.
In the gap, Brantley with a nice sliding catch to take it away from Charlie Blackmon. One down. Tell you what, from our vantage point, I wasn't sure he was going to get to that ball.
Well, this ball wasn't driven. He hit it in the air, and it didn't have carry to it, so that enabled him to get over there. You see it's coming straight down more than it was driven into left center field. So that's going to be our McDonald's. I'm loving it. That's what center fielders do. That's how they make their money. If it's got a little hang time on it, they're going to run under it and catch it.
Well, there were times I played left field. There was hang time on balls, and Archie came over and caught it for me.
Well, that's it. If it's it's a much tougher play when it's hit hard on a line drive than it is if it gets a little air underneath it. Hang time. That's what the guys are there for.
Chris Iannetta bounced out to third, his first time up. Breaking ball for a strike. And the count 1-2.
That's when Mitch gets tough, is when he can throw his slider for strikes. Because he's got a dynamite changeup that he uses, and he'll throw it to both lefties or righties. It doesn't matter. And that just gives him his third pitch. Then it really makes it tough. There you go.
Got
he
him
dots
looking.
the eye with the fastball.
Just his second strikeout tonight, 2 down. A chance for a 1-2-3 inning for the first time tonight.
You see, he throws the slider for strike two. Now that hitter's thinking, well, he may throw that again, trying to get me to chase it, and he just goes outside with a good fastball and hits the corner. Great call, great location, second strikeout. It's all a matter of keeping that hitter off balance and off stride, and he certainly did there.
Mike, I was going to ask you, when you talk about playing left field next to Archie, I've talked to guys who were outfielders and came to the infield, and they said, whoa, you're
faster game.
Awfully close to home plate up here, you know?
It's different. You know, I started out, obviously the majority of my career, I was a first baseman. Got over here, and Andre Thornton was playing first base, so I was going to the outfield, thankfully. And went out there, and I played 40, 50 games out there. And then Andy got hurt, and I came back into first base, and you want to wear shin guards and a face mask and chest protector.
It moves a little bit quicker on the infield when you get on that dirt.
Well, you know, it's funny. You talk about the farther away from the game, the easier it looks. And we sit up here from a pretty good perch every night. Every once in a while when I'm down in the field, it's amazing how just the perspective is so completely different when you're standing down at game level.
Quickly everything moves. These guys that are out on the field make it look so easy and nonchalant. But, man, oh, man, it's like it's not easy. Now that ball's driven.
Oh, it's just over the head of Buck. And that's going to be extra bags for Carlos Gonzalez. He's into second base with a 2-out double. And once again, Mitch Talbot's bid for a 1-2-3 inning is spoiled with 2 outs.
That's what I'm talking about right there. That ball was driven to left center field, and it was on the line. And even Buck, when he's running over there to get it, it was by him. By the time he can get there, that's how hard that ball was hit. He gets over there, and next thing you know, by the time he puts his glove up, it's past him. So Gonzalez continues his torrid streak. He's 2 for 3 today.
A nice-looking hitter. He really is, isn't he? I hate to say that, but he is.
He is. He's got a great stroke. I mean, we don't get to see Colorado play a whole lot, but when I get to see him play, I watch him and Tulowitzki on all the time.
Yeah.
On television, watch their at-bats. They're great players. Kid was with Oakland. He was part of that trade that went from Oakland, from Arizona to Oakland, and then from Oakland out to Colorado.
Well, you watch him, and you watch him on film, especially on film, and like all good hitters, the last thing to commit are his hands. Everything, is in balance, and he's on the ball, and his hips go, and the last thing he commits are his hands, and that's a big key to being a good hitter, is to be able to have that ability to do that.
And a line drive base hit is going to get the Rockies on the board first. Once again, 2-out damage by Colorado. 2 outs, bases loaded, the double, and then the base hit. And it's 1-0 Rockies.
Well, when teams are going well, they get their 2-out hits, and when they get their opportunities, they take advantage of them. They've done that in this series with 2 outs. They had the 6-run inning with 2 yesterday, and a couple of back-to-back hits here when you thought Mitch was going to have a 1-2-3 inning. They're on the board. Now he's pitching to get out of it again. But Colorado will take a 1-0 lead. For Herrera, that's his 10th ribby.
That brings up Todd Helton 0 for 2. Helton has struck out and grounded to second. .75 pitches now on the night for Mitch Talbot. 53 have been strikes.
Well, it was that 5th inning yesterday that they had the 6 runs. Yeah. And they come back and they strike again today in the 5th.
With 2 outs again, and the base is empty. That's how it started last night. But it started last night with a walk to the number 9 hitter.
They called time.
Yeah, they sure did. I never saw the home plate umpire signal it, but
I heard something.
I heard somebody yelling.
Yeah, it was the umpire yelling time. Helton called it. He gave it to him. And I think Lou's looking at the umpire and saying, why do you give him time? But it was awfully close. Helton called for it, and he got it. I didn't see any hands up in the air, but I heard something.
Last night we had a situation in the game late. It ultimately proved to be a very costly mistake when Lou Marson tried to throw behind a runner at first base to pick off a base runner. And I talked to Sandy Alomar before the game tonight, and he said, anytime against a good hitting team like this, you can get an out without having to throw a pitch. It's a good idea. And Carlos Santana actually made the call for that play from first base. And Sandy said that was very heads up on his part. He liked the fact that Santana was...
He's in the ball game.
Yeah. Good awareness of the situation.
He's watching the guy. He's playing behind him, and he's watching because there was a man on second base. He's watching the guy get his secondary lead and how he's breaking back to first base. So if he feels that he's straying out there and you have an opportunity to get him, why wouldn't you put a sign on? And Marson's going to react to it, and the throw being there. If he throws it down and makes a good throw, you're out of the inning.
Exactly. And Sandy said, unfortunately, he just made a bad throw.
That's
it happens.
Okay. That you know what? I can accept an error like that. I mean, from trying to do something and get out of an inning. I have no problem with that.
Talbot ready with a 1-2. Runner goes. Pitch out.
Nice.
Throw down. Got him. Herrera erased to end the inning. But the Rockies grab a 1-0 lead, middle of the 5th. 1-0. Bottom of the fifth, Jack Hanahan, Lou Marson, and Michael Brantley. Hanahan with a routine bouncer to first. Todd Helton flips it, 1 down. Log on to STOHD.com and you can buy a $30 gift certificate from Barley House on West 6th, and you'll get a $30 gift card free. Enjoy 20 craft beers on tap, sidewalk cafe seating, 50-inch flat screens. The Barley House. Sit long, talk much, laugh often. STOHD.com. Log on. Get your buy one, get one free $30 gift card. Lou Marson bounced out to third his first time up.
I want to get along our birthday wishes. Lula Boykin, who works in the press box up here and has for 17 years. It's her birthday. So, Lula, a very special happy birthday to you. And yes, she is working tonight.
Oh, but there's going to be a party afterwards, I'm sure.
We're all going. You got it. Also, Hermina Pugel of Amherst is turning 84. Happy birthday to you.
The 2-0. And Lou chops it foul.
We're going to have the party at Grover Suite when it's over. It's freshly stocked.
There you go. Good talk.
Right. Everybody's invited.
Yes,
Everybody, come on down to the ballpark. If I'm not there, start without me.
We will. Don't worry. I know right where it's located.
We'll do one of those old
best location in the nation.
Guinness World Record deals. We'll see if we can get how many people in a suite to get into the Guinness World.
That'd be good.
World
Let's
Record.
do that. Let's do that.
Jam them into VWs.
Matter of fact, we'll do that
booths.
tomorrow night. So come on down. We'll give you advance notice.
Got him looking. Marson is out number 2, fourth strikeout for Jolise Chassin. He's retired 5 straight. Our game recap brought to you by your Northern Ohio Toyota dealers. The Indians had the bases loaded. It all happened after there were 2 out, but Travis Hafner went down swinging. And the only run of this game right here, a 2-out RBI single by Herrera. And it's 1-0. Find out about more than 30 Toyota offers available now at buyatoyota.com.
Yeah, it would be interesting to see how many people we could get in that suite.
I don't know that Jim Falk would think it's such a good idea.
Who cares about Jim? But you want to be the last person in and leave the door open.
Be careful. Jim watches us. He's going to hear you say that. You may be getting a text here real soon.
Your suite may be locked.
I've said a lot worse things to Jim before. It's a wonder Jim still likes me.
Jim Falk, who's the director of operations here for the ballpark, has one of those jobs where somebody's always mad at him. It's just the nature of the job, especially when you have bad weather. He's down there trying to coordinate with the umpires, with the groundskeeper, trying to keep it all smooth.
He does a great job.
Yes,
Let me tell you what, he does a great job.
A man that cannot win, but I'll tell you what, he seems like he does every day.
Poor Jim, back in 95, he was fairly new, I think, and I can't forget what the situation was. We had a situation where it was the field was all goofed up and it was raining, and I was ticked because we're trying to keep.
Hold that thought. We'll finish this story when we come back. It's 1-0 Rockies as we go to the 6th. Up your Wahoo Bucks $5 discount coupons for the Subway Extreme Fan Zone. It's the place to be for a chance to win Subway gift cards, Indians fun money, and you'll get great discounts on your next Subway purchase. Subway, where winners eat. All right, Mitch Talbot takes the ball out here for the 6th inning. Indians down a run. He'll face the heart of the order for the Rockies, Todd Helton, Troy Tulowitzki, and Jason Giambi. Todd Helton 0 for 2 on the night. He was at the plate when the Rockies' last turn at bat came to an end. Jonathan Herrera was thrown out trying to steal. But that's one of those cases, too, where, Rick, you've always talked about with 2 strikes, you're kind of protecting your hitter. And for when you've got a hitter as good as Helton, it gives him a chance to come back
and lead off the inning. Absolutely right. The guy steals the bag, and they guessed, right, because they pitched out. That's how they got him.
Smash to left. Buck back to make the catch. 1 away. Let's go back to the studios once again for an in-game update. Here's Al Pawlowski.
All right, Matt, Rick, Mike, let's go to Kansas City, Arizona, taking on the Royals. Alex Gordon with a towering drive in the 1st inning that's gone for a home run. Puts Kansas City ahead 1-0. Luke Hoch for the Royals. He's retired the first 8 batters that he's faced. Back to you, Matt.
Thanks, Al. Tulowitzki tried to hold up, but he went around. He is 0 for 2. He is grounded to short and popped one straight up at home plate. Chased one up high. It's 0-2. Looks like he's shaking that wrist as though that last swing may have caused him a little pain. He's had some problems injury-wise, and I think it was that wrist. Just a little bit outside. It was just a year ago he had a fracture in that left wrist. Back to the mound. Easy play for Talbot. 2 down. And Jason Giambi coming to the plate. It's interesting. He has owned Tulowitzki tonight. I mean, he's really had him eaten out of the palm of his hand. But Jason Giambi, who's coming up right now, has had 2 very good at-bats, and he's 2 for 2. Tulowitzki has seen 10 pitches, Tommy Bo says, 9 strikes. And Giambi fouls that.
That's what they did to McCutcheon when Pittsburgh was in town over the weekend. They just pounded with about 70%. Yeah, for the whole series. They just continued to throw strikes to him, and they were successful.
Giambi doubled to right center his first time up. And he scorched a single to right field his last at-bat. Now he's down on the count 0-2. And another opportunity for Talbot to work a 1-2-3 inning.
Good changeup. There you go. You can see him way out front of that one. He's swinging, thinking, oh, my goodness, I was fooled.
And the 2-strike pitch. Clubbed. Deep left center. And he is 3 for 3 tonight. Short hops the wall. And into second base with another double. And again, Talbot has a chance to make it a 1-2-3 inning and can't get that third guy.
He came back with one more, and how about making an adjustment, huh?
When you're embarrassed that bad, you sit there and tell yourself, don't throw that again. I'm not going to let you embarrass me like with that pitch.
He came back with it again, and guess what? The veteran stayed on it and drove it to left center field. Yeah, instead of maybe just throwing a fastball up and in to show him something in there, they came right back with it, and the veteran got him.
Seth Smith, 1 out of 2. His base hit came back in the second. Out of play, 1-1.
We want to send our thoughts and prayers along to our friend out at the media gate, Ken Tieber. His mom passed away yesterday, and he's here working today. So, Kenny, we hope our thoughts and prayers are with you and your family. Hope everything goes well.
Yeah, that's sad. Very sad. Back out of play.
And I have some special get well wishes to Rita Wingfeld, recovering at St. John's West Shore Hospital and watching the ball game tonight. So, Rita, we hope we're going to come back in and, first of all, get a hit, then get some runs.
There's a drive deep right field and so long. Deep into the Rockies bullpen. A 2-out, 2-run homer by Seth Smith makes it a 3-0 Rockies lead.
Well, again, they strike with 2 outs. They have been lethal in this series. Makes it a 3-0 ball game. Smith, his 7th home run. Give him 31 ribbies on the year. And boy, when you're firing, there's a mistake. There's middle of the plate. And there he, as soon as he hit it, he knew it. Into the bullpen. That one is not coming back.
Nine of 11 runs already in the series. With 2 outs, the Rockies, it's the kind of offensive team they have. They can do damage at any time.
Well, when your offense is firing on all cylinders, a lot of runs come with 2 outs. And that's sort of a backbreaker when it happens against you. Because you think you have a chance to get out of the inning. And back-to-back innings, Talbot had the first 2 guys out. And then a couple of hitters come back and spoil that.
2 out, nobody on, and run score is a knife to the heart.
Yeah.
It really is.
It sure is.
It just knocks you down.
It gives you confidence offensively as a team, but you're right. It's the dagger.
Popped him up. Smashes the bat on the ground in frustration. And Santana grabs it to end the inning. But the Rockies get 2 with 2 outs, and they lead it 3-0, middle of the 6th. And leading off for the Indians, Cord Phelps takes a strike. He is 0 for 1 with a walk. Indians have had 4 base runners so far tonight, all 4 via the walk.
Yeah.
Chacin has struck out 5 in his 5 innings of work.
Well, he had that one struggle back in the 3rd inning. You remember he walked the bases loaded with 2 outs and able to get the strikeout. And then their pitching coach, Bob Apodaca, went out and had to talk to him. He was throwing about 49% strikes in. Since that visit, he's thrown 60% strikes and really settled in. And that breaking ball has been his best pitch by far tonight. That has been his out pitch.
A half dozen Ks now for Chacin.
Here it comes, down and in, over the top. When he needs an out pitch, that's the one he goes to right there, that curveball. He was throwing a lot. He's got quite a few pitches. I'm not sure, but good enough fastball. When he's locating that, you're in trouble.
Addis dribble Cabrera with a strike over the outside edge. He went down swinging to end the 1st. He walked to load the bases back in the 3rd.
Well, that breaking ball to the back foot of a hitter, you can't.
Once you commit,
that thing keeps moving, and you keep trying to track it with your bat, and you just can't catch up to it.
Once you start swinging, you're
in trouble.
You're done.
Yeah.
Because he can throw it for a strike, and he's proved he can throw it for a strike. And then when you get to 2 strikes, you see it and you commit to it, and then it disappears. It's out of the zone.
You're done.
In the dirt. Is Dribble able
right
to lay off?
That. That's the one that's a tough one to lay off. He can throw it for a strike, and then it's his out pitch.
It's up high, 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Take him off the curveball there.
Chacin already at 92 pitches on the night as Travis Hafner waits on deck. Ball in the dirt. Full count.
Well, I think you can see why this guy, Chacin, hitters are only hitting $196 off him coming into today's game because he has an assortment, man. He's got a variety that he can make it awfully tough on hitters. There have not been many balls hit hard tonight.
No.
Coming back with the breaking ball.
And it's ball 4, so he's walked his 5th. And the Indians have a 1-out base runner now for Travis Hafner. Let's get the answer to our trivia question tonight. Brought to you by AT&T. Hit for the cycle and turning an unassisted triple play. So you got to think infielders. I'm thinking Troy Tulowitzki has to be on this list.
Valentin.
Who?
Valentin. John Valentin with Boston.
Who did you talk to get that?
No, I remember because
he's
hit a couple cycles.
You lied, dog.
I'm telling you,
you are lying.
No, who did I
yeah,
talk
right.
to?
Okay. All right, I got a bridge I want to sell you too.
Oh, come on, Michael. When you've been up here as long as I have, you learn. You remember these things.
Hafner looks at a ball outside the strike zone. Thank you, Mike, for calling him out on that. Finally.
You forget I know you.
I'll tell you what, you ask the truck, hit your little talk back and ask them how many guesses it took me to get that. And they will tell you the honest to God's truth.
That they told you on the first try.
Now the pitch to Hafner. A little bit outside.
It's like a steel trap.
I'm telling you. That's why you have to oil it regularly.
Yeah.
One on, one out here in the home half of the 6th. And a strike called. 2-1. Hafner didn't appear to be in agreement with Greg Gibson on that. Want to send out happy anniversary wishes tonight. Very special 70th anniversary celebration going on in Sharon, Pennsylvania for Frank and Jenny Williette. And Frank, I'm told, watches every game.
70th anniversary.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
That is a big congratulations.
Now the set and the 2-1 to Hafner. Downstairs, 3 balls and a strike. Shin Soo Choo waits on deck.
Sharon and I will never last 70. She'll shoot me at 65. I'm telling
hope you live past 70.
Yeah, that's true.
You got to live past 70 to be married that long.
Jim Tracy's club leads by 3. Chassin has no hit the Indians thus far, but he has walked 5 in the game.
Well, this could be that point right here. This is a big hitter. Get that guy on board.
His 99th pitch of the night coming up right here.
There you go.
2 on, 1 out. Let's shoot it back to the studios while Bob Apodaca here. Al Pulaski has another in-game update for us.
All right, Matt, let's go to Chicago. White Sox Cubs. Paul Konerko in the 2nd inning. See you later. His 21st home run of the year, but his 5th straight home run in as many games. That is a club record for the White Sox, who lead the Cubs 2-0, 4th inning. Matt, back to you.
All right, thanks, Al.
You know, looking at Chassin, he walked 6 guys one other time this year. That was back on May 9th against the New York Mets. But they still won the ball game. He has walked 6 here tonight. He struck out 6, but he has not given up a hit. The Indians haven't been able to get into that hit column, and they need one right here to get back into it. What they did last night, they responded when the Rockies scored. Well, the Rockies just hit a 2-run homer, so they need to get on the board. It's getting late.
So the 100th pitch of the night for Chassin coming up right here to Shin Soo Choo, who has tapped back to the mound and grounded out to first. And it's low, ball 1.
Chu is one of the few hitters tonight that's hit the ball hard. Helton made a good play on that one-hop line drive earlier in the game.
He couldn't hold up. And the count evens at 1-1.
That right there, there's been a couple of hitters since at 89. I'm thinking that's got to be his splitter.
I think you're right, yeah.
Because it goes out and they don't get a good read on it.
Bouncing ball up the middle, it's through. First hit of the night will bring home the Indians' first run. Cabrera scores. Now Hafner trying to go to third, and he is out. 2 down in the inning. And a big out at third base. The Indians do get their first knock and their first run. It's a 3-1 ball game.
Yeah, you have to make sure you're going to get there. You know, he felt he was going to get into third base, but Gonzalez with a good throw. He comes up, and he was not very deep by the time he tracks this ball down, and you can see a good throw, a one-hopper right on the money. Hafner, a dead duck. Stepped on his hand. Wigington's hand, so he will be the second out of the inning, although Chu did get into scoring position.
And now Carlos Santana has walked and struck out. We're in the 6th inning. Santana steps away. And a chopper towards first, and an easy play there to end the inning. So the Indians get 2 walks and a hit. They get on the board, but they still trail it now 3-1 after 6.
right now, top of the 7th inning. And just a reminder, the Yankees will be here at Progressive Field on July 4th. If you get here, you can get a free Bob Feller bronze statue. But if you don't have your tickets yet, you better log on tonight to Indians.com and get them now before they're gone. Also, check out the bleacher seats, the Time Warner Cable bleacher seats, the hottest spot out there. Tickets just $10. You can't beat it, guys.
All right, Mitch Talbot out here for the 7th inning. And facing Charlie Blackmon, who is 0 for 2. Blackmon, then Chris Iannetta and Carlos Gonzalez for the Rockies here in the 7th. Colorado leading it 3-1. Talbot deals, and a breaking ball good over the outside part of the plate. Evens the count at 2-2. And now Mitch Talbot at 100 pitches, 69% for strikes. He has
great ratio.
Struck out a pair. His only problem tonight is a couple of times getting that third out. And it's one thing if you've already got people on base, but he had 2 outs and bases empty in back-to-back innings, and the Rockies got him for all 3 of their runs. Sports Time Ohio and Jimmy Hanlon want you to play golf at 10 of the best courses in Northeast Ohio. You'll get a chance to play each of the 10 for as little as $25 each. Now, the card costs $49.95, pays for itself if you play just twice. Courses include Little Mountain, Stonewater, Peak & Peak, Sweetbriar, Whispering Woods, The Quarry, Aurora Country Club, Ashland Country Club. Log on to STOHD.com. Visit the marketplace and get your Tee It Up Ohio golf card today.
Ashland's included in there. That's a great deal. 10 clubs you could play for $49. Beautiful.
1-0 pitch is a little bit outside, 2-0. We'll be down there just about a month for my charity golf tournament.
It's the 21st?
21st of July. Gosh, it's hard to believe it's
so
a month away.
So let me ask you, Matt. Let me ask you a question.
Let me ask him.
You're looking for celebrities, right?
Right.
Well, why haven't you asked me to play?
Because you're on vacation.
How do you know?
I asked somebody. Bobby D told me.
Oh, well, yeah, Bobby knows everything. That's right. It's my fault.
He got all over you.
You were on my list, and Bobby D said, no, Grover's going to be on vacation. So I said, all right.
Oh, sure. When is it again?
Remember I told you?
July 21st.
Oh, yeah, I am on vacation.
He is now.
See, come on.
Yeah.
He was all over you. He says,
time.
I told him, I said, I'm playing the Mets. Did you get your invitation? He said, no. I said, maybe he doesn't like you.
That's what. Yeah. I said either that or he's mad at me.
I think that yes.
Then
I
walk in here yesterday and you're like Mr. Grump. Oh man,
Grumpa.
Oh, there's a strike called, full count.
Have to go get my own chair. Microphones didn't work tonight.
Oh, that's right. You invited me to go on vacation with you, didn't you? The 21st.
That's right. Yeah, my buddies.
Chris Iannetta awaiting the payoff pitch. And a little bit low, ball 4.
It's a tough boot, Matty.
You don't have to tell me.
He's ready with his reply, though, wasn't he?
Manny Acta going to make a move here. Rafael Perez is coming on for the Indians for the second night in a row. And so our call to the bullpen, brought to you by Verizon 4G LTE. Rule the air on the most advanced 4G network in the world. Rafael Perez will enter the game in relief of Mitch Talbot, with the Rockies leading it 3-1.
family any day or night with the KeyBank Grand Slam 4-pack. It's 4 tickets, food, 4 Indians caps, and parking. Everything you need in one easy, affordable package. Visit Indians.com and purchase your tickets today or call 216-420-HITS.
Rafael Perez for the 33rd time this year. 2-1, 124 ERA. He will be facing the left-handed hitting Carlos Gonzalez.
Well, he has 5 hits in the series. Well, Mitch Talbot today threw a lot of strikes, didn't pitch a bad game, but they got him with 2 outs when he had a chance to get out of it and just couldn't do it.
Now the set. And Gonzalez came around the bunt, pulled it back for ball 1. Pop back into the seats. 1 ball, 1 strike with 1 on, 1 out here in the 7th. Gonzalez, who had 3 hits last night, 2 more this evening. Swung on and missed. It's 1-2.
Well, you know, if the Indians will get this guy out this time, then they can always. Then you start telling him what's coming.
Yeah. Well, with 1 more game to go after tonight, he has done a terrific job since being inserted into that leadoff spot. Normally a number 3 hitter, and you can see why.
And the 1-2 just did get a piece of that to keep himself alive in this at bat.
He's just a good hitter. I mean, you know, just plain and simple, good hitter. I saw Fergie Jenkins one time. Remember Tommy Davis?
Yeah.
At the time he played for the Orioles and just hit everything Fergie threw up there. So after about the 3rd game of him doing that, Fergie started telling him what was coming every pitch. Okay, fastball. And Tommy couldn't hit him. And Tommy's turned around the umpire, yelled at the umpire, make him stop telling him.
You're not allowed to do that.
Yeah. It was hilarious.
The 1-2 pitch. Got him. He went chasing. And a big strikeout for Rafi Perez, 2 down in the inning.
Well, a good pitch. He gets this one out of the zone. Maybe took a little bit more off of it, but it didn't get into the zone, and he was able to get him to chase it. And he gets him out. But now this is right where Colorado wants you. 2 out and 1 guy on.
Right in their zone, seems like that.
Yes, it has. In the last 2 nights, this is when they've done all their damage.
Herrera smokes it foul. He had a big hit. And they got the Rockies on the board first in the 5th inning with 2 outs. Plating Carlos Gonzalez that made it 1-0. And then in the 6th inning, it was a 2-out, 2-run homer by Seth Smith.
Well, this kid's a better hitter from the right side of the plate than he is from the left. And you could see that swing there with authority. He's a 300 hitter, 302 in his 43 at-bats from this side of the plate.
Ripped foul. No balls and 2 strikes. Jolice Chassin has given up 1 run, 1 hit through 6 innings. But he's got to be getting fairly close to the end of the road. He's just over 100 pitches.
Watch the follow through. Marson gets it on top. That happens a lot. Those guys, the hitters, they get that little extension when they're fooled a little bit and they let go with one hand. Catcher gets it on the noggin.
2-strike pitch. Golfed high in the air to left. Back is Buck. On the track at the wall, and he makes the grab to end the inning. Stretch time here in Cleveland. Indians down 3-1. Cleveland Clinic 7th inning stretch. Indians fans, time to get up and let's move it. Inning. Don't forget you can stop by Panini's at any one of their 18 locations in Northeast Ohio. You can get yourself overstuffed. PaninisGrill.com will lead you to the location nearest you. Bottom third of the Indians order due here. It's Travis Buck, Jack Hanahan, and Lou Marson. Chassin 104 pitches. His high is 114. They have activity in their bullpen. Matt Belisle, Matt Reynolds both loosening for the Rockies. Travis Buck has flied to right and grounded to short. There you see Reynolds from the left side, Belisle from the right. Bouncing ball to first. Easy play, 1 down. Here's our Miller Taste Greatness moment. We'll go back to 2005. Aaron Boone with a walk-off homer to beat these Colorado Rockies. And Nat, remember, that was the year the Indians caught fire in interleague play. They couldn't be beat that year.
What were they, 15-3?
They had that incredible run that started out on the West Coast, really.
We went to Colorado and
beat up the
San
Padres,
Francisco.
the Rockies, the Giants.
I remember the one game we lost on that trip. There was an error. Ben Broussard at first base. I think it was in San Diego. It was an unearned run that cost us the game.
Nice crowd down there in the seats. Jack Hanahan 0 for 2 tonight. down in the dirt. Call to strike. And now Hanahan down on the count 1-2. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Little bit outside. And Hanahan is out looking. That's 7 strikeouts for Jolise Chassin. The Gathering Place supports, educates, and empowers individuals and their family members, the ones who have been touched by cancer. Every time the Indians homer, Rick and I are each making a donation to the Gathering Place, and Great Clips is donating as well. Our total this year, just under $4,000 raised. Log on to touchedbycancer.org to learn more about the Gathering Place. Great needs, great deeds, great clips. Well, they tell us we have some rather inclement weather moving our way. And you notice early in the game there wasn't a whisper of a breeze, and all of a sudden that breeze has started to pick up. It's blowing straight out towards center field.
Yeah, we saw this on Sunday.
There's a drive toward right center for Marson, and it's going to get down and get past Smith. He tried to smother it, and a bad idea there. Marson's going to hit second. He'll turn and burn for third, and he'll go in with a 2-out triple.
Well, there's a situation there where Smith probably should have just let it fall for a single, pick it back up and throw it to second base, but he committed to it. Then he tried to knock it down and smother it and keep it in front of him. But once that ball gets by you, that guy's got at least a double, and Lou Marson gets all the way to third base. I don't think it was a wise move. He couldn't have caught it anyway. Sometimes you look at that scoreboard, you're up 2 runs. You don't want a guy to get in a scoring position because the tying run's coming to the plate anyway. You give him that base hit, but now Trace is going to come out and make a move, and I'm sure go to the left-hander with Brantley coming up to the plate.
Jolise Chassin went 6 2/3 innings tonight, and he allowed just 2 hits. And he will leave with a 3-1 lead. We've got a timeout here at Progressive Field, and we'll be right back. You can see that way off in the distance, lightning flashing.
Oh, now why do they have to show us that?
To let us know that it's on its way.
No, we know it's on its way.
Oh, that's going north of us.
Oh, I like it. Optimistic. Matt Reynolds, left-hander, on to face Michael Brantley with a runner at third and 2 down. Indians down 3-1.
Temperature has dropped.
The relative humidity is what?
All right, easy.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, I mean, you guys are giving me everything but.
You know, it's funny, Mike, when you work up here in the booth.
Dick Goddard look-alike.
After a while, you realize everyone up here is an expert in predicting the
I
weather.
knew that a long time. Expert in a lot of things.
Here's the 1-1. Bounce towards first, but foul.
You don't see Michael Stanley do that. Michael Stanley, I've got that on the brain. Brantley, you don't see him do that a lot. It's swinging around the ball. You know,
No.
he usually stays inside the ball really well and uses the whole field. He just, every now and then he'll get out around it like he did on that one.
But Michael Stanley stays inside his guitar real well.
He did.
Little bit outside, 2-2.
You go home early, guys. Missed a great concert the other night.
Well, I didn't see you at the ballpark the next morning.
Oh, that's right. I wasn't. Was I?
We happen to have to come back for that day game.
The 2-2. Ripped right back to the screen.
You know, the older you get, you got to get home and get to bed.
Yes, yeah. I'm sorry to say that I understand that.
Almost dropped in. Reynolds thought he had him rung up.
Tried to come in that front side, the front door, and just missed. Wrapped around. Brantley, a great two-strike hitter, man. He just doesn't give in. That was in. That wrapped around the plate.
Fastball hit in the air, left field. Blackman is there, and the inning is over. So the Indians threaten, but they can't get that run home. And we go to the 8th. Rockies on top 3-1.
And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cleveland Indians.
Eighth inning. Todd Helton will lead off for Colorado. Rafael Perez staying on. Helton tonight 0 for 3. No balls and 2 strikes for Todd Helton. Just under 16,000 in attendance here tonight.
And that wind has started to pick up and blow straight out. And you know what that means.
Oh, thanks for joining the party, Mr.
I was an inning late now.
Yeah.
Took it a while to get warmed up.
Mr. what?
Jeez.
Mr. Oh, you guys are all weather experts, aren't you?
When I say our flock of seagulls up there that can't fly anywhere, they're stuck. They're trying to go one way.
They can't fly against the wind.
Just trying to get you guys back into it.
2-strike pitch to Helton. And he flares it the other way. And a fair ball. So the Rockies get their leadoff man aboard here in the 8th. Our box score is brought to you by your Northern Ohio Hyundai dealers, introducing the Hyundai Assurance Trade-In Value. Carlos Gonzalez, 2 more hits tonight, 5 in the series already. Herrera had the first RBI hit of the night for the Rockies. And, of course, Seth Smith had the big 2-run homer in the 6th. All 3 of the Rockies' runs tonight scored with 2 outs. Rockies right-handed hitters without a hit so far tonight. There are only 3 of them in there. The 0-1. Tulowitzki looks at a ball down low. 1-2 the count. You know, it's amazing. We get a lot of Facebook messages during a game from fans who are, checking in, commenting on what's happening. Probably had more messages tonight about this storm because it's passing up through all these different communities that people are watching the game from tonight, and they're telling us, get ready, it's on its way. Double play ball right there. Nicely done. Around the horn they go. And 2 down here in the 8th.
So everybody's joining the Meteorological Society tonight. Yeah.
Well, you get one of those Anna balls. Good pitch. That little slider down and in right at Hanahan. Able to turn it.
And so with 2 down, Jason Giambi coming to the plate. They haven't figured out a way to get him out tonight. He is 3 for 3, 2 doubles, and a run scored. And he has 4 hits now in the series. Homered last night. Three infielders on the right side for the Indians. But Giambi's hitting the ball in the air, so he's pretty much taking that shift out of play.
Well, in his last at bat, when he hit that double to lead off with the 2-out double in the 6th, he was fooled badly on a changeup. They came right back with that same pitch, and he drilled it to left center field. So he made an adjustment. He's 3 for 3 tonight, 2 doubles.
And the 2-strike pitch got him. They finally retired Giambi tonight. And we go to the last half of the 8th. Tribe down 3-1. as the Storm moves our way. 3-1, Rockies on top, bottom of the 8th inning. This guy can be a human rain delay. With all due respect to the man sitting to my right.
Some things aren't funny. Some things just aren't much funny at all. Everybody asks me, why'd you do that? Why'd you take all that time between pitches? And I said, it took me that long to work out the courage to get into the box. I think that's probably ultimately what it was.
Well, you know what? That's the one thing about baseball. There's no time limit. No, don't worry about it. This guy, he'll go out, he'll take his time, and when he's ready to throw the ball, he throws it. And when he does, he throws strikes. The Indians got to find a way to get some hits. They have 2 on the day, or on the night, I should say. And they're down a pair, so you get 1 aboard, and you've got the tying run coming to the plate. They got the run off of Betancourt last night, and then all of a sudden, they had that call with this guy at second base, where he drove in a run. He would have been the tying run. They called him out at second.
Cord Phelps leading it off for the Indians. And it's fouled out of play. Cord 0 for 2 with a walk tonight.
Well, you know what you're going to get from this guy. You're going to get fastballs away. Predominant amount of pitches are going to be fastballs away.
And he will throw an occasional slider. To the right-hander, he got Cabrera last night, Orlando Cabrera on the slider down the way. It was a good one that went down.
And the 1-strike pitch. All the way to the backstop. Now the 1-1. Up and out of play.
See, there's a breaking ball. He left middle of the plate. That's a hittable pitch.
Cord Phelps on Sunday with his first major league home run, and it was a game winner in extra innings. Helped the Indians finish off that sweep of the Pittsburgh Pirates. They're in a rain delay in Chicago, where the White Sox lead the Cubs 2-1. Told you earlier the Reds were already rained out at home earlier tonight. Now the 1-2. And a base hit to right field for Cord Phelps. So the bottom of the 8th starting promisingly for the Indians.
Well, he gets this one off the end, but he got himself. This was a better breaking ball than the first one he missed. This ball was down, and he was able to put the bat on the ball. Got it off the end, hits it into right field, base hit. Tying run comes to the plate.
That's the first hit to lead off an inning for the Indians in this series. As Dribble Cabrera has walked twice and scored a run. Trying to put a jolt into a pitch right here from his former teammate. The 0-1 pitch. Line to center field, another hit. Cord Phelps hits second and puts on the brakes quickly. Gonzalez tried to throw behind him, no dice. And the Indians have 2 on with nobody out on back-to-back singles off Rafael Betancourt.
Good swing right back up the middle. So for the first time in this game, back-to-back hits. So a promising start, bottom half of the 8th inning, nobody out. And you're going to get Hafner, Chu, and Santana, the scheduled hitters to follow.
Travis Hafner 0 for 2 with a walk. I know it's not this simple, but guys, it looks like if you just hit a ball in the air right now to center field, it may travel to Ashtabula. I mean, the flag is hanging on for dear life out there.
You're right. It's not that easy. But Betancourt is a fly ball pitcher.
Lightning flashing all around us. Almost like a scene out of The Natural. Where's Robert Redford? Cue Roy Hobbs. Three runs on 9 hits for Colorado. They've left 5. 1 run on 4 hits for the Indians. They've stranded 6. First 2 aboard here in the bottom of the 8th with nobody out. And Betancourt, as is his custom, taking a lot of time. The 1-0 pitch. Outside he missed. 2 balls, no strikes. They're taking that flag down. Before it winds up out in Lake Erie. Betancourt comes set. The 2-0 pitch to Hafner. And Pronk looks at a strike. I see a plane flying overhead. That's the last place I'd want to be right now with what's going on all around us.
I was thinking the same thing.
Betancourt takes aim with a 2-1 pitch to Hafner. And a pop foul back out of play. Pronk was up with the bases loaded and 2 down in the 3rd inning, but he ultimately went down swinging. Count even at 2-2 with Shin-Soo Choo waiting on deck. This crowd of just under 16,000 rising to their feet. They sense something big about to happen here. Betancourt ready with the 2-2. High, full count. And Shin-Soo Choo will either be coming to the bat with the bases loaded, or perhaps even better yet, maybe with the bases empty if Hafner gets a 3-2 meatball. Rafael Betancourt ready now. And the 3-2 pitch to Hafner. Line drive base hit center field. Court Phelps coming around 3rd. He will score. As Drupal Cabrera stumbled, puts on the brakes, and gets back just in time. It's a 1-run game as Hafner delivers the 3rd straight hit of the inning for the Indians. Pronk gets his 27th RBI on the year, and the Rockies' lead is down to 3-2.
Well, Hafner, good at bat. Boy, working the count full and then just putting a nice line drive stroke on it to keep the train rolling. Right back up the middle. Didn't try and do too much. It was a fastball down, just strokes it into center field. Phelps able to come around and score, make it a 3-2 game. And yeah, you're not going anywhere. That's the tying run now in scoring position. Jim Tracy looks like he's going to make a move.
Yes, he has already signaled to the bullpen. And we've got a timeout here in the 8th inning. Indians with 2 on and nobody out, down 3-2. Miles coming on, and just as he is about to start the inning, some raindrops falling here at Progressive Field. Folks scattering right now in the lower deck. But for the moment, Shin-Soo Choo is the batter, 1 for 3 on the night. He drove in the Indians' first run of the night with a single back in the 6th. Adam Everett has taken over to run at first base. He represents the go-ahead run for the Indians. Hafner's RBI hit has the Indians within a run. Tying run at second base is Drupal Cabrera there. And Matt Belisle deals, and Choo jumps on the first pitch but fouls it back. Belisle sets, delivers, and it's back out of play. Choo down on the count, 0-2.
He didn't mess around, came right at him with 2 fastballs, and Choo fouled them both off.
Well, it's not all that usual to see a manager make a change and bring in a right-hander to face a left-handed hitter. But Jim Tracy, watching that dugout, said Raffy Betancourt doesn't have it tonight.
No, he's bringing in your best pitcher for this situation. That's all. It doesn't matter right-handed or left-handed. He's coming in because he believes this guy can get an out.
And the 2-strike pitch to Choo. Big flash of lightning. Choo bloops it towards center, but it hangs up for Gonzalez, who makes the catch. And that's the first out of the inning. Carlos Santana steps to the dish. Santana 0 for 2 tonight. He had 3 hits with a homer last night in the ballgame. And a little bit high for ball 1. Again, is Dribble Cabrera, the tying run at second base. Pinch runner Adam Everett, the go-ahead run at first. Here in the last half of the 8th, rain and lightning all around us. But for the moment, we're still dry. And the 1-0. Down low, 2 balls, no strikes. Outfield, Rick, pretty much normal depth.
Yeah, you don't see him playing back, do you? No, there's none of this, no doubles. Not here, there isn't.
There's a strike.
The way that wind is blowing, when it's blowing out, you figure it's going to have a little more carry to it right now in this inning, I would think. If ever you're going to play a couple of steps deeper, I would think right now would be the time.
Rockies lead by a run. 2-1 pitch to Carlos Santana. Ripped to first, caught by Helton, and that's the only out they
get.
Good
base running.
2 down.
Very good base running there. The boys able on a line drive. You're told to freeze. They did. And he couldn't get back to first base in time to get Everett. He's the pinch runner. He took a half step, but he couldn't get there. And at second base, Cabrera out there did a great job of just staying put. Almost like he didn't have a secondary lead, Mike. He just stayed right there, and he was able to get back.
It's good base running. That really was good base running. I mean, that's one of the toughest things to do as a runner, because you want to get a good jump. You want to get out and go and be able to score that tying run. I got a feeling right now, Mr. Tracy's
trying to put the stall tactic to it.
Maybe a little bit. One theory why the outfielders may not be playing deeper, and conditions with the wind, you'd think they'd play a couple of steps deeper because the ball has a chance to carry a little bit more. But there's no rule of thumb in baseball. You play for the tie on the road, and you play for the win on the road and tie at home because you have last at bats. And right now, the tying runs at second base. If they play a little deeper and a ball's hit that they might have been able to get to in front of them, that may be why they're not.
That's fine. I can understand that, because I think sometimes that no double defenses get carried away.
Oh yeah,
I think they give up a lot more hits coming in, but I understand that.
I agree. Fewer and fewer managers are playing. From the 7th inning on in a game, you get the tying or winning run at the plate. You want to take away the doubles. You're seeing less first baseman and third base playing the lines. They're playing them more honest and more straight up.
Travis Buck, 0 for 3 tonight, and 0 for his last 24 overall. Up here with the game on the line now, with 2 on and 2 out. Up and in. Spun him out of the way. 2 balls and a strike. And now Buck asks for time and steps away. The 2-1. Buck looks at strike 2.
This is a good time to break that over 23 or whatever it is.
Yep, right now it's over 24. But it would be a great time.
Matt Belisle with 2 on and 2 out. The 2-2 pitch. Ground ball, base hit into right field. Cabrera around third, coming home. Smith's throw to the plate, not in time. We are tied at 3. Travis Buck does indeed break his 0 for 24 with a game-tying RBI single. And the Indians use a little of that Colorado magic with 2 outs here in the inning.
Yeah, they desperately needed it.
And on the throw to the plate, Adam Everett, the go-ahead run, went to third base.
Well, with 2 outs, you know they're going to try and throw home, so you go right ahead and get yourself to third base. Throw was offline, not a very good throw, but you can see Cabrera coming in. You're going with 2 outs. That's a big hit, and picked a perfect time to break that streak. Now, don't end there. Get another one. With the Storms looming, get another base hit right here.
Jack Hanahan goes after the first pitch and fouls it back. Hanahan 0 for 3 tonight. Indians have outscored the opposition now 27-7 in the 8th inning at home this year. This has been their inning all season long, and they've done it again tonight to come back and tie the game. Now, can they take the lead? Belisle retired the first 2 he faced. But then Buck pulling that single through the right side of the infield to get the Indians back to even. Hanahan shot that just over the top of the Indians' dugout. Adam Everett, the go-ahead runner at third base. Travis Buck down at first, being held there by Helton, so that gives Hanahan a little more of a hole to work with over there at first base. Down on the count 0-2. A little bit low. The 1-2 pitch. Line drive, center field. Gonzalez coming on, makes the catch. And that will end the inning. But the Indians battle back to tie the game at 3 as we go to the 9th. And Indians closer Chris Perez will come on. And he'll be facing Seth Smith, Ty Wigington, and Charlie Blackmon.
Seth Smith hit the big 2-out, 2-run homer for the Rockies back in the 6th that gave them a 3-0 lead at that time. Since then, the Indians have answered back with 3 to tie it.
Yeah, one of their favorite innings at home, the 8th inning. And a ball hit right on the nose. It was at Gonzalez, so they could have added on. Well, right now, the way the Indians' bullpen has been pitching, you got to like their chances because the one unearned run last night on the throw. Other than that, they've been lights out.
Outside, 2-2. There is Ty Wigington, who is 0 for 3 on the night. Back out of play. That's crushed. Deep right field and long gone. Seth Smith with his 2nd home run of the night. And this one comes off Chris Perez to give the Rockies the lead right back 4-3.
Smith, man, he's swinging the bat well. This is a breaking ball, a slider from Chris Perez right down and into his wheelhouse, boy, and he couldn't have put it on a tee any better than that. And they take a 4-3 lead.
Right back out of play. Right back up the middle. And another hit. Rain starting to fall heavier here at Progressive Field. Looks like we're getting a pinch runner. Ty Wigington will exit. Is that Chris Nelson? Eric Young Jr.
Well, he will be off and running, I guarantee you that, because he's quick. Man, he likes to steal bases. He has 4 this year, yet to be caught. And he's one of the guys that when they bring off the bench, if he gets a jump, he will have the green light.
In the air, center field, Michael Brantley makes the catch, 1 away. Stick around after the ball game. We'll have the Conrad's Tire Express and Total Car Care post-game show. Down low. Runner goes back over the top of the Rockies dugout.
You know, there's a play right there, Mike. I mean, if you're the catcher, ninth place hitter, I think you can see it out of the corner of your eye. He had a great jump. right there to steal a base. Why not give him the opportunity to steal a base? And if he steals it, now you're in an opportunity. You got an RBI situation.
I agree.
He swung at a bad pitch.
Yeah, Blackman, the hitter before, swung at first pitch. Not giving him a chance to run and get a score position. You hit the ball the right side, get him over to third, and you can score with
you have an opportunity to add on.
I agree. There are some players. I've seen it. There are some players when a guy runs, they swing.
Yeah, because they think a hit. They might have missed a sign. Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know, but it drives you absolutely bonzo. When that happens, a guy he's ahead in the count.
Right.
It's not a 2-strike count. The guy gets a huge jump. The hitter had to have seen him.
Right.
And they don't give up. They don't give it up.
It's been almost a year since Chris Perez gave up a home run. The last one he gave up was June 27th of last year. Runner goes. And another foul ball.
And Iannetta may be one of those guys. Jeez.
Well, as a hitter, you're looking for a certain pitch. And, sometimes you feel if you get that pitch, you're going to go ahead and take a hack and try and drive it and drive him in. That's okay. He's had 2 chances.
No, it's not okay.
In his mind,
I think I agree with what you're saying. You as a hitter, you're looking for a pitch you can drive and go after the one that you want. But early in the count, when you did it the first time,
go.
Double play ball.
Look at that.
That'll end the inning. Indians' last chance coming up next. They trail at 4-3. Rain is falling here at Progressive Field, but the Indians will come to bat with their last shot at either trying to tie this game up or trying to win it in the bottom of the 9th inning. It'll be Lou Marson, Michael Brantley, and Cord Phelps due up for the Tribe. Grady Sizemore will come off the bench and pinch hit here for Lou Marson. Chris Nelson takes over at third base. And we'll see if Grady Sizemore can jumpstart an Indians rally here in the 9th inning. Grady on the year 0 for 1 as a pinch hitter.
Well, these are the guys that had a chance to face him last night. As a matter of fact, it started out Travis Buck pinch hit in the 9th inning off Houston Street. He flew out to left. Grady hit a ball right to the base of the track in right field. And then Michael Brantley lined out to first base. So 2 out of the 3 are going to get a chance to face him again tonight.
Manny Acta looks on. Houston Street fires, and Sizemore jumps on that first pitch, fouls it back. One for 5 with a strikeout for Grady. Against Houston Street, the Rockies closer. He got it done last night in a 1-run game. Sizemore smacks that foul. And it's quickly 0-2.
Houston Street changeups last night. His first 2 pitches to Grady were fastballs, and he was on them. So he loves to throw that changeup. 21 of 23 saves.
You'd think he'd be primed to throw it now ahead in the count. And Grady pulls it on the ground to second base. 1 down. And we go to the top of the order now, and Michael Brantley. Brantley 0 for 3 tonight. The Indians trailed at 3-0 before rallying back to tie it with 2 in the bottom of the 8th. But in the 9th, Seth Smith with his second home run of the game put Colorado right back on top. And now Houston Street trying to close it out for the Rockies. One and one to count. Brantley with a fly ball towards center. And Gonzalez makes the catch, 2 down. And that will bring up Cord Phelps. Phelps singled to start the 8th inning rally for the Indians. Came around to score. 1-1. If the Indians are unable to rally here, it's going to continue a trend. When they lose the first game of a series, they've lost 9 out of the 10 series that they've played.
Yeah, that's something they did so well earlier in the year, is winning that first game series. That's very, very big to a ball club.
Houston Street ready with a 1-2. And it's up high to even the count. As Drupal Cabrera hoping for a chance. And Phelps will give it to him. He yanks it down the right field line. He's going to turn and roll into second base easily. And now sliding is Smith in the corner. Phelps going to keep on rolling. And he's going to get in there at third base. A 2-out triple for Cord Phelps. And the wet warning track may have tripped up Seth Smith, who, when he went in there to try to dig it out, his feet went out from under him.
Well, he keeps it alive, gives him hope with 2 outs. Went down, looked like a changeup. He pulls down into the corner. Smith goes over there, and there it goes. You're right. Little slippery, slick track. That enables Phelps to get all the way to third base. He made that decision. We saw him slip, peeked over at Smitty at third base. Gets in head first, 90 feet away is the tying run.
So now is Drupal Cabrera, who singled and scored his last time up. He takes a strike. Cabrera. He can tie it with a knock or win it with a blast. And the way his year has gone, you figure one of the two is going to happen. He has been their most magical performer offensively all season long. And it's 1-1. He leads the team with 12 dingers and 43 driven in. And he has scored 2 of their 3 runs on the night. Rain still falling here at Progressive Field, and a huge, I mean a massive bolt of lightning just went over the top of this ballpark. And then the rumble of thunder follows. 2 balls and a strike. Houston Street, after giving up that triple, has the tying run just 90 feet away. The 2-1 to Cabrera. Down low, 3 balls and a strike. And Austin Kearns in the on-deck circle would be next. Remember, the Indians pinch ran for Travis Hafner with Adam Everett. So it'll be Kearns should Cabrera walk here. And you have to wonder, Mike, if he'll get anything good to hit as hot as he's been all year long. It's ball 4. It looked like he worked around him maybe.
Oh, I think he did, without a doubt.
Not that you ever want to put the winning run on base. I know that whole philosophy, but...
Well, there are ways to hide it. I mean, there really are ways to hide it. And one of them is just, pitching around him like that to where it's not real obvious. But he didn't get a good pitch, to hit. It was either on the corner or off. And now they got a righty against a righty, and he's not as hot a hitter.
Well, you pinch ran for Hafner, so it would have been Everett. So they have to pinch hit now for Everett. It's going to be Austin Kearns. So, I mean, you're going to much rather go at a guy like Kearns or whoever they're going to offer you as opposed to Cabrera, who's been one of the top hitters in the league with runners in scoring position.
No doubt about it. Kearns has had his struggles this year, batting just .209. If there's a silver lining for Indians fans, it's the fact that he's hit in 9 of his last 12 games. So he's definitely been much better of late. Over his last 14 games, 11 hits for a .282 average.
He's had stronger at bats as the season's gone along. Like a lot of veteran players, the more at bats he's gotten, the more comfortable he's felt, and the better at bats he's had and put on, and the swings that he's had have been, more sure.
Remember last year he was more of a regular everyday player. This season more of an off the bench and occasional spot starter.
That's a tough adjustment to make.
Phelps, the tying run at third. Cabrera, the winning run at first. Bottom of the ninth, 2 down. Swung out and missed.
Pitching around a guy, going back to putting the winning run on first base. Managers hate to get second guessed. And everybody second guesses a manager. So instead of just putting him on with 4 straight, 4 pitches, you walk him intentionally, where you set yourself up to get absolutely ripped. If it doesn't work, you have a guy pitching around him like that, you accomplish the same thing. You stay away from him.
Yeah, but you have a veteran on the mound that can do that. Here's a guy in a closer. It'd be different if you had a younger pitcher that,
without a doubt,
wouldn't be able to throw quality strikes for balls.
That's right.
Good block here. Remember, the tying run is at third base. And if that skips past him, we got a new ball game again. But Iannetta able to smother it. And of course, Phelps, the runner at third, he's looking for that ball in the dirt. And if one skips past, he'll be bolting for home. 1-1. Up and away, 2 balls and a strike. Shin-Soo Choo is on deck.
Sure doesn't look like he wants to throw anything into him.
Away, away, away. And the 2-1 runner at first breaks. Kearns swing and a miss. So as Drupal Cabrera, the winning run, gets into scoring position.
I was wondering when they were going to let him take off.
Houston Street is notoriously slow to the plate. There's a lot of closers are. If you notice, there's a lot of closers in the game that are 1-6, 1-7 home and even higher. And, you know, you get up to that high numbers, it's
go ahead and take that
you
base.
Bet. You bet.
Now the 2-2 pitch. He struck him out and the game is over. So the Indians threaten here in the bottom of the ninth, but Kearns cannot deliver. And the Rockies hold on for a 4-3 victory as he checked on a ball down low out of the strike zone. So the Indians have dropped the first two in this interleague series against Colorado. 4-3, the final score here tonight. With the win, the Rockies are now a game over 500 at 37 and 36. The Indians dropped to 39 and 33 on the year. Matt Belisle gets the win for Colorado, and the loss goes to Chris Perez. Time now for our play of the game, brought to you by Key Bank. Thanks for making Key Bank the #1 bank in Northeastern Ohio.
Well, you're going to come in ninth inning. This second time this homestand. Chris Perez has been in a tie game. He left a slider middle third of the plate. And this is a young man that hit a home run earlier in the game to give him a 3-0 lead. He's going to give him the lead 4-3. Smith just the second homer of the game, his 8th of the year. That is going to be our Key Bank key play of the game.
So the